First of all, kia ora, ni hao, namaste. I want to emulate Riyesh. First of all, I want to thank the New Zealand Asian Leaders thing, because I've seen this organization grow from a vision to a reality, and we all know why. Mei Chen, the energy behind it is just unstoppable, and I think we should give her a big hand. When she started this idea, it's attracted talent, and more importantly, it's attracted people from our communities. Asian migrants have come to the country who feel that they can ultimately contribute to the country. And I really feel proud of what Mei Chen has achieved, and I hope that this grows even stronger in the years to come. My topic today, unlike the others, I haven't prepared a presentation, and Karina was after me right through the time, and I've been traveling, but I did think about the subject. And my own experience, I've been living in New Zealand for 20 years. I have owned an SME, which is now in 8 cities around the world. We have got over 50,000 customers. We currently mainly doctors and hospitals and in the healthcare market, in the technology market. But we also have made a huge difference in primary care in New Zealand. We started off with about 10 or 15 practices. Now we have 90% of the New Zealand doctor desktop market. We also have the specialist market. We have about 70% of the specialist market. And in terms of the allied health market, we just became market leaders, I think. So, but what our whole idea and ambition as a company is what difference can we make in New Zealand. And we believe each one of you should be our customer. And we launched a portal called Manage My Health. Today we have 2 million patients who are on that system. You should be able to get your medical record from your doctor. You should be able to make an appointment through your system. You should be able to get your prescription. That's the sick care part. The wellness part is today clustering with innovation. Everything from DNA testing, pharmacokinetics, all these cutting-edge innovations we want to bring to New Zealand, because it's not mainstream in New Zealand, it's in the Silicon Valley, it's at the Cleveland Center, it's at Johns Hopkins. Why don't we bring it here? That's what MedTech is about. Now, in today's topic, it really is about growing innovation and growing SME. But we live in a disruptive world. We live in a world which has got a high velocity of change. And to survive in this environment, you've got to have 2 concepts. One, you've got to have speed of thought and speed of execution. As Mei Chen said, execution is 90% or 99%. Because if you can't execute your ideas, they sit on the shelf. And how do you execute? How do you respond? As Charles Darwin said, it is not the most intelligent or the most powerful that survive. It is the most responsive. So the key to success as an SME is being responsive. Now, how do you become responsive? And I start with some basic elements from my own experience, which I've lived in 4-5 countries before I came to New Zealand. And that has given me a very rounded experience, both culturally, but also to understand how to work in a very connected market. Riyesh touched on the point that connections are fundamental. The World Wide Web has created a global community. So one of the first points before we go into the technology aspect of what we can do to grow our market, firstly start with yourself. You are the leader. So being self-aware, your energy, if it is like Mei Chen's, you will succeed. Okay? But energy is everything. It's 99%. Inspiration is 1%. It's very important, but energy is everything. As a leader, you've got to inspire. You've got to attract, and it's infectious. It infects your organization. It infects everyone who wants to work with you because they feel that you've got the right energy. And remember, it's about people. People work for people. They work for organizations, but they work for people. So understand your people. And remember also, in an SME, everyone counts. Most importantly, you've got to get the right people. Get the right people on the bus, in the right seats. Get the wrong people off the bus. It's a hard decision, but you have to do it if you want to move on. And continuously look for talent. Today's world, the biggest challenge is how can you secure talent? And talent is, and when I started 20 years ago in New Zealand, I had so much difficulty in getting developers, engineers, and so on. So, having lived in the US, having lived in the UK, in Singapore, in Hong Kong, I said, hey, talent is everywhere. How do we attract it? So we went up, we looked for people in Singapore, we got people out of India, we set up an operation in India to do our IT work here, to augment our New Zealand engineers and our architects here. We set up in Australia, and now we're in the US, we're in India, we're in Australia, we're in New Zealand, very soon in the UK. And it's about attracting good people and making sure your people actually have got a sense of direction. In today's world, plans work to a point. But the reality is how adaptable are you and how quickly can you respond, which means you have to set a sense of direction to your people and then look around in the market. Think of the thing which has not been thought of yet, because most of the disruptive things which are going to hit you in the next 10 years have not even been thought of. And you've got to be alive. You've got to have a sense of restlessness in you to want to grow and succeed. And what is important also is a dedication to and a commitment by you that, hey, nothing is taken for granted. You need to have productive paranoia of your competition, of the market trends, of what can come and disrupt you, because they're not predictable. I always say to my colleagues, we should be worried about a Kodak moment, okay? Because look at Kodak, 20, 15 years ago, Kodak was the company to invest in. Today it's a train wreck, right? It's non-existent because it didn't respond. That is the key. The other very important element, of course, is technology, innovation. Innovation is very important. It can come from any quarter in your organization. Some of the best ideas we have been successful in implementing didn't come from our engineers, came from our front desk staff. And we enabled innovation and we rewarded people who came up with good ideas. And you can tap on that. Make sure that you understand your customer. It's all about the customer. If you don't understand the customer, if you don't know how to respond to the customer, you do not know how to co-create with your customer, you are really going to be a hard time. You're not wanting to create a solution looking for a problem. You need to understand the problem of the customer, okay? And more importantly, execution, flawless execution. Anybody can innovate, but very few people can productize. It's the ugly part. You know, innovation is the easy part, it's a great fun. But the execution to make sure you can sell it at the right price and deliver to the customer and get best customer satisfaction, that is the key. And the other aspect which I would very importantly tell you, which you need to go for, is always try to answer the question, what and why. The how is not as important. The what and why, if you get it wrong, costs you a lot. And I made many mistakes. Before you climb a ladder, make sure it's on the right wall. Okay? So it is so important that you ask yourself that question. Okay? The other very key factor is always ask and challenge your team. Why will we succeed over the others? There are hundreds like us. Why do we succeed? What is our differentiator? How do we keep that competitive advantage? That's what keeps me awake. Okay. Lastly, I just want to quickly sum up. It's about practice. dedication and focus. And I want to just tell you a quick story about the Beatles. All of you are Beatle fans, or I still am. All of you know about the Beatles. They floated around in Liverpool, couldn't get a job, put together a band, and they tried out in Liverpool first. And this is a small city in England. Didn't succeed, took a boat to Hamburg. They went to Hamburg and they had to play at nightclubs. And at the nightclubs, they were only given a meal and lodging if they could attract customers to the nightclub. So they had to be very good. So what did? They practiced. They practiced every day. They gave 1,600 concerts. On average, they practiced 12 hours, or rather they did 12-hour stints a day. If you calculate that, 1,600, let's say take by 10, this is 16,000 hours. They were the most practiced pop group in the world. And that is how they became good. They didn't become good by accident. They had raw talent. But what is another very important psychology in the Beatles is they all checked and criticized each one of them. John Lennon was one asked, hey, is Ringo Starr the best drummer in the world? And he said he's not even the best drummer in the Beatles. So, being self-critical is so important. Lastly, I wish you well. I think you need success is two things. You can always define success as something where you get what you want. But real success, in my view, relates to happiness. You need to want what you get. Thank you.